Data is the oil of the 21st century. If you want to understand why and how this happened, follow me into the world of data science. My name is Anna Gründler, I'm a lecturer at Heinrich Heine University, and in this video series I aim to demystify data science and put it in the context of management practice. I deeply believe that for every business person it's important to understand the general idea of data science, even if you never intend to apply it yourself. Today, we talk about how to identify data sources and prepare them to approach a business use case. Let us start with a fun example. Coca-Cola, the world's largest drinks company. They installed connected vending machines all across the world, where customers could create their own drinks. In the beginning, they got kids challenging themselves to come up with the most horrible drinks, and they tried it and left it. But over the time, Coca-Cola saw trends by country, by region. In the UK, people were buying cherry-flavored Sprite, super popular. And this data was aggregated and served as a perfect market research. By the way, this cherry-flavored Sprite was released, and Coca-Cola could make decisions based on real data and even launch new products. But what is data? Data can be either structured or unstructured. Structured means that there is a predefined structure or data model behind it, meaning the data can be displayed in rows, in columns, or in relational databases. Examples are numbers, dates, customer records, or sensor readings, like in the Coca-Cola case. Unstructured data refers to data without a predefined structure or data model. It cannot be displayed in rows or columns. Examples are images, text, audio, or video files. In enterprises, it is Word files, emails, or spreadsheets. A lot of untapped value lies in this type of data. According to a Gartner survey, only 20% of the data is structured and 80% is non-structured. So how do we find the data that helps to address our use case? Questions can be: what are variables that are meaningful to answer our question? What data do you need and what could be data sources? Is the data available? And who owns the data? How can those data sources be linked? Often data comes from different systems and sources. It can be internal but also publicly available. By the way, there's a large variety of publicly available data to play around with on Kaggle, on GitHub, or on Reddit. For the Coke example, in the beginning, the use case was to identify new regional trends. In this case, they needed data on the location of the vending machines, consumption of specific flavors, maybe customer data, but also publicly available data about weather or the general sentiment that could influence the mixing or drinking behavior. And once you have the data, what next? One saying is that 80% of the time of a data science project is data cleaning. I'm not sure about the exact number, but looking back into my dissertation or data science projects I worked on, there is some truth to it. So spend time thinking about the following questions. What do I do with missing values? How can I link the various data sources? What do I do with outliers? Are the data sources comparable? Do they have the same underlying definitions? Or are there any data transformations required? I would always suggest to familiarize yourself with the data, identify trends, strange patterns, or outliers. It is a non-regret move to do some graphical views, basic statistics, histograms, or scatter plots. Gain general insights about the data that will potentially be helpful for the further steps in the data analysis. Never trust any data as long as you have not carried out simple plausibility checks. And what you should be aware of, there is no doubt that data availability and data quality are among the big challenges in data science projects. Keep in mind biases in data. Make sure to check if the data is sufficiently representative. Try to deeply understand the data. Think about the bigger picture. Who would be using it? When working with data, always think about data risks. Are there any personally identifiable information Or are there any ethical considerations to make? It is your responsibility to identify those and avoid them if possible. For ethical considerations, think about the creepiness test. Would it be strange to communicate the findings with this data? So what is the role of a manager or a business person in this process? With your domain knowledge, you can help data scientists and data engineers to identify relevant variables and to solve the use case. You can connect to the owners of the data, you can clarify questions, and you have an eye on the mentioned risks. So data is a tough one and an important one. If you do not select and clean it properly, the findings are irrelevant or even wrong. But if you master your data, you have found the oil of the 21st century.